The S.O.D.A World Series of Off-Road Racing has come down to one last race in the quest for the True Value Pro Series Championship. In Class 8, Walker Evans has won 18 championships in his legendary career, but none here in the S.O.D.A World Series. He has a 1-point lead over defending champion Scott Taylor and Scott Douglas. Will this be the year of Walker Evans? In Class 4, Greg Gerlach, winless, but a consistent top 5 finisher, can do what no other driver has done in a long time. Dethrone the Chevy Thunder of Jack Flannery, and he has a 5-point lead with 1 race to go. And in Class 7S, John Greaves, rebounding after a disastrous 1993, has won 4 out of 5 races this season. He holds a 14-point lead over Art Schmidt. Greaves must break, and Schmidt will have to win to claim the crown. It's been an exciting championship season, but there is no holding back. It all gets decided today, so hold on. The wild ride has come down to this one last race at Crandon, Wisconsin for the 25th anniversary of the Chevrolet World Championships. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, today is in Crandon, Wisconsin for the 25th running of the Chevrolet World Championships. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, and over my shoulder you can see the capacity crowd beginning to file in as they're getting ready for a great day of racing as we celebrate the silver anniversary of this great event here in Crandon, Wisconsin. And boy, what a showdown we have in store for you. The True Value Pro Series Championship in all 3 categories will be decided today at this track, and Class 8 is going to be a classic battle. Walker Evans, Scott Douglas, and Scott Taylor are within 1 point of each other. Evans is the leader. Taylor and Douglas behind him by only 1 point. Our Ivan Stewart is with Walker Evans.
We have got a real battle in Class 8. I've got Walker Evans here. He's got a 1-point lead. You got 3 guys that can win this championship. You've never won here in the S.O.D.A Series. You've come close before, and I know you've won championships all over the country in Mexico. What are we going to do to win this championship?
Well, we're going to run hard. There's no doubt about it. I'm the closest to winning a championship, and I'm not going to let it get away. I've got to go out there and run fast, and I've got to put the pedal to the metal, and that Dodge is going to come through for me.
You've got 1-point lead. If I were in your position, I'd want that lead too. Even though it's 1 point, it really doesn't mean a lot because the winner's going to win the championship. But I want that psychological advantage. The other guys have got to know that you were the guy to beat. That's the way you feel?
Oh, you bet it is. And that's just what I did this morning in practice. I went out and I passed every one of them, and I showed them who's got the dominating power. And that's what you got to do. It's a psychological thing too. And you bet I'm going to run that truck hard right to the finish line and secure that championship.
That's funny how Walker and I think exactly alike. We thought the same way for the last 20 years we've been running together. That's the story in Class 8. Let's go to Rick Johnson with Greg Gerlach in Class 4.
There's only 5 points separating Greg Gerlach and Jack Flannery. Greg's been consistent all year, but now it's a different story.
Now, there'll be no consistency out there today. We're going for the win. I've got to keep Jack either behind me or in sight at all times, so we're going for number 1.
Well, you heard it from the man. Greg Gerlach's not going to be consistent today. He's going for number 1.
All right, thanks, Rick. And let's take a quick look at Class 7S. Remember, there's only 20 points for a win, and you can see that John Greaves with a 14-point lead is in command in this division. Take a look at that crowd as we take a look also at the race conditions. 65 beautiful degrees, only a 20% chance of rain. This is absolutely ideal conditions.
Great racetrack we got to. This is the granddaddy, Marty, the big one. Oklahoma land race start. You've got to get that first corner first. 2-mile track, lots of speed. You better bring some horsepower.
Yes, and they've put up a fence around Parsons Pond because it was named after Dave Parsons after he took a swim several years ago. So we don't have to worry about anybody dropping into the pond. Now, there is Greg Gerlach on the line as we're getting ready for Class 4 action. Here is the True Value Pro Series Championship standings as we head into this race. It's really between Greg Gerlach and Jack Flannery. Jeff Dorr and Jeff St. Peter have an outside chance, but both Gerlach and Flannery must break. There is Jack Flannery. Thumbs up. He's confident.
And let me tell you, you know as well as I do, Greg Gerlach had better get a good start and have lots and lots of horsepower if he's going to beat this man right here.
Well, we talked to Jack Flannery and Jeff Dorr before the start of the race.
Trouble is one thing we don't need here today. It's not when the points race is this close, and we don't expect none. We're doing everything we can to prevent it, and I just think we're ready today. And I think we're going to be looking at a checkered flag here in Class 4.
I want to have good luck. Something's got to happen to Jack to finish way down there for me to be able to pull ahead of him, and then Greg's right in there too. So kind of like they need to drop off a cliff, and I can get this thing taken care of.
Marty, let's see what Class 4 is all about. Obviously, four-wheel drive production pickup, 600 to 800 cubic inches. make almost 850 horsepower, some of these trucks. Weight equals 8 pounds per cubic inch.
Chevrolet starting field. There's the man they've got to beat. Greg Gerlach hasn't won all season, but he's got a 5-point margin over Jack Flannery from Crandon, Wisconsin. This is his hometown. He knows this track better than anybody. Jeff Dorr in third place in a tie there. He'll be in one of the Fords alongside one of the Chevrolets of Kevin Probst. Probst from New Lenox, Illinois. Steve Kelly, all the way from Irvine, California, had a great second place finish in Class 4 at our last stop. And Mark Seidler in the 414 in a Chevrolet as well. The rest of the starting field, as you take a look, and way back in the distance there is where the Land Rush start begins. And talk about this first turn.
Oh, let me tell you, and these guys have got to be in the neighborhood of 100 miles an hour, Marty, but the big motors, the fast guys, have got to be approaching somewhere in around 100 miles an hour into this first corner.
And the pedal will be all the way down through the corner. If you flat-foot it through the corner, you've got a chance. If you lift, you're going to be eating somebody's dust. Look at Jack Flannery, middle of the screen. He's trying for the outside line. Kevin Probst on the inside. Kevin looks like he may have the lead. Yes, he does. In fact, Flannery's going to slide to third.
And that's Kurt LeDuc just ahead of Jack. That's unusual.
Kurt LeDuc, who had a terrible crash into Scott Douglas in the Manufacturer's Challenge at our last stop at Lake Odessa, and is in second place right now in front of Jack Flannery. First place, but Kevin Probst gets a little high and manages to hit the berm.
Where's Greg Gerlach? I see him back. He must be back a little ways, about 8th or so, I think.
Yeah.
Marty. He was going to really come on hard. I think he may just need a little more motor.
Did not get a great start. In fact, there he is trying to work his way up 7th place as he is right now trying to figure out what he's going to have to do to try and stay with Jack Flannery. Oh, Flannery a little sideways.
He got a little sideways. A little slick. His first lap typically is a little slick here at Crandon.
Take a look as the mud is starting to fly already, and the only guy who's got the real advantage is sitting in first place because he's got the clear track. That's Kevin Probst. Second place, Kurt LeDuc, and third place, Jack Flannery. Boy, I'll tell you, LeDuc surprises me. He got a great start, and he's holding on.
You know, Kurt's got a lot of experience back here just recently, but he's from back in the Midwest, and he loves this form of racing.
Take a look at the leaderboard. That fourth name belongs to Steve Kelly. And boy, you drop off there. It's about a 30-degree drop. Then you come straight up the hill, and then it's back onto a flat stretch towards the front straightaway.
And that's what makes this course so much fun. There is the elevation changes. You've got all these different elements to deal with. That's just fantastic off-road racing.
This is the longest course this series has, 2 miles in length. Everybody else somewhere between 1 mile and 2 miles. And looks like Flannery started to put some pressure on Kurt LeDuc. Boy, I'll tell you what, Probst has taken a nice lead.
He really has. He's getting his truck working better and better and better. Every time we see him run here, he's getting stronger.
Heading for turn number 2. A little smoke coming out of Flannery's motor.
I noticed the same thing, Marty. He may have a little bit of a heating problem.
I'll tell you, boy, Kurt LeDuc is making Flannery work for every inch. And you can see the smoke from the outside as well. Flannery may be having an overheating problem. Here is Greg Gerlach. He is still in 7th place. That isn't going to do it unless something happens up front. He's got to move up.
He doesn't have radio communication, Marty, with his crew, and he doesn't know Jack Flannery's having a problem. No way he could have a...
Oh, no, a problem for Kevin Probst, our race leader. He is pulled off the course at the far end and is out of the race, and there is your new leader, Kurt LeDuc. He has never led in S.O.D.A competition and now has a chance to play the role of spoiler. Jack Flannery is all over him.
He is really... I'll tell you what, Kurt LeDuc is really going to have his handfuls if he stays ahead of this guy.
Oh, and he opened the door there. Flannery's got the inside line, and Flannery's got the lead.
Marty, I think that's a little bit of experience. He just left the door open. He went too wide, and Jack Flannery's been around this track enough to know this is where I got to get by him.
So Flannery takes advantage, now pulls out to about a 4-truck length lead as they head down into the gravel pit. So Flannery in quest of another championship here at the Chevrolet World Championships from Crandon, Wisconsin. Don't go away. Marty Reed, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson is pit side, and this is the battle for the top spot. Jack Flannery leading. Kurt LeDuc, there's LeDuc and Steve Kelly battling it out for 2nd place, and Jeff Dorr, who got a horrendous start, has tightened it up. He's in 4th.
Jack Flannery's pulled way out, but I see Steve Kelly is really starting to put pressure on him.
Well, we've caught up with Kevin Probst, who has dropped out of the race after being the early leader. Let's go to Rick Johnson in the pits. Rick?
Stupid electrical connection came off of the starter and shut my whole ignition system down. It just shut off coming around the turn there. I don't have anything to do about it.
Well, after the 360-degree endo at Lake Odessa and now an electrical problem, 2 tough breaks for Kevin Probst. And speaking of tough, this truck's slowing down, and that's Jack Flannery.
It really is. I hear the engine RPM is really lugged down. He's got a major problem, Marty.
Question is, he still has the lead, but for how long? No longer. There goes Kurt Ledoux. There goes Jeff Dorr. Dorr must have gotten around Steve Kelly. Yes, Kelly's right there in third. So there is your new leader, Kurt Ledoux. Jeff Dorr right behind him, and Steve Kelly.
I tell you what, Kurt Leduc had better be aware that he's got somebody behind him. He's going to let him pass. Same pace he let Jack Flannery pass.
Flannery climbs out of the Chevrolet, and disappointment as the championship quest is over. He will not successfully defend his crown from last year. And there is Jack Flannery, and looks like they're talking about perhaps a gas leak or something going on there. They're keeping everybody clear. Now here is Greg Gerlach in 4th place. With Flannery now out of this event, Gerlach can finish 10th and still win the championship. So Greg Gerlach can cruise from here on out, and he's in 4th place. Let's go down to Rick Johnson. He's caught up with a disappointed Jack Flannery.
Jack, I know this is tough, but what happened out there?
Well, we was having a good run. Everything was feeling smooth. I could hear rocks banging up underneath there all the time. I couldn't tell exactly what was going on, but I could start smelling gas real bad. Then all of a sudden I looked down at my truck to drop fuel pressure a little bit. I knew I was in trouble. Then gas just started running all over. It must be, you know, we're running 80 pounds of fuel pressure in there, and boy, if one of them lines break or come loose, it just sprays gas all over. But I had them covered today, but it just wasn't meant to be.
So it was a gas leak that we did see there. It wasn't water. That's why everybody was clearing out. We're on the white flag lap. Disappointment for Jack Flannery. But right now, it's going to be elation for Kurt Ledoux and Steve Kelly. Kelly has gotten past Jeff Dorr as they are heading into turn number 1. And Kelly has moved into 2nd place. Dorr is in 3rd. And remember, all that Greg Gerlach has to do is literally just keep cruising where he's at.
He's in a pretty comfortable position. Well, I'll tell you what, Kurt Leduc has really got to be feeling ecstatic. He's doing a fine job here. Keep these guys behind him.
Especially after he came under some heavy fire after the last round at Lake Odessa when he T-boned Scott Douglas in the Manufacturer Challenge. Oh, look at Jeff Dorr trying to put the move on the outside, and he really gets hung out to dry.
He tried to outbrake him. He got on that loose stuff.
So it means Steve Kelly maintains 2nd place. We're heading for the final turn, and the checkered flag, it'll be Kurt Leduc in front. Now, that's lap traffic right there in front of Steve Kelly. Kelly gets underneath it. There's Jeff Dorr. So it's going to be a 1-2-3 finish. Kurt Ledoux, Steve Kelly, and then Jeff Dorr here at Crandon at the Chevrolet World Championships. And here comes Greg Gerlach. Gerlach is going to seize the championship with a 4th place finish. First time it's ever been done. Never winning a race all season long, but consistently finishing in the top 5 to claim the Class 4 crown. Consistency pays off for our new champion. Stay with us. We'll talk to the winners right after this. Back at the 25th anniversary of the Chevrolet World Championships, Kurt Ledoux, Steve Kelly, and Jeff Dorr, the top 3, and Greg Gerlach with a 4th place finish wins the championship as we see the rest of the top 10. Let's go down to victory lane. Ivan Stewart is caught up with Kurt Ledoux.
Well, first of all, Kurt Leduc, congratulations, all the way from California. I know you've done a lot of desert racing lately, but I didn't realize you were this tough in a short course.
Well, I won here about 8 years ago, and when I got off the plane yesterday, I never expected to meet the governor of Wisconsin here and win the Governor's Cup. Borg Warner gave me a great truck, and Chad Schluter gave me a great team to race with, and we were smart. We stayed back, and we knew we were pushing Jack because you just can't run that hard that long, and it was our day. I mean, you know, it's great to put Ford and BF Goodrich back out front and make Flannery work a little harder.
Well, let's take a look at the final standings in the True Value Pro Series Championship. Greg Gerlach, 15 points better than Jeff Dorr. Jack Flannery and Steve Kelly tied for 3rd. Jeff St. Peter in the 5th spot. Then Mark Seidler, Scott Smith, Jeff Holker, Kevin Probst, and Gerald Foster tie for 9th. Let's go down to victory lane again, where Ivan has caught up with our new champion.
Well, Greg Gerlach, it's been a tough, long year. Come right down to the last race, but you are the points champion, Class 4 True Value champion. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. You don't know how long it's been since I've been on that winner's circle on that. And it's been a tough year, and it's been a hard year, and the competition is so great that I feel really just wonderful that I could score on top of these guys, because these guys are the best drivers in the world.
I know that you were back a ways, didn't get a fantastic start. What did you think? Did you happen to see Jack Flannery's truck sitting off the side? And if so, when you saw it, what did you think?
I saw it. I said, thank you, Jack. I'm sure he had nothing to do with it, but no, I saw it coming around. I was thinking, boy, I only got 2 laps, and something's got to happen here. I just lost it, and came around the corner down the pit straight here, and there it was. So I guess, you know, things go good and things go bad, and I've had my share of bad luck, and I'm afraid Jack had his this year. So
it worked out this time.
Yep.
Congratulations again, Greg.
Thanks.
Hell of a job. Good job.
Well, it's about time you gave him a trophy. He worked hard for it all year. Now, this is the parade that they held downtown. You got to remember, Crandon, Wisconsin is a community of 2,000 people, and they support this race. In fact, they have built it into their trademark, and they have done a great job over the 25 years, and this was their celebration, and this was my favorite, the Bedrock Mobile. I mean, look, what a great piece of work. We're getting ready now for race action. I'll tell you what, there's no smile on this guy's face. That's Walker Evans, and Class 8 is coming to the starting line, and he's ready. Yeah, look at him. He knows what's at stake. Let's take a look at the True Value Pro Series standings. There you see it. 1 point separates the top 3. Dave Hockers has a mathematical chance, but the other 3 must break. Now, we had a chance to talk to Taylor, Douglas, and Hockers before the start of the event.
There's going to be some chances taken today, and it's going to be a calculated risk, but you know, it's down to the wire. The pressure's on, bottom of the 9th, everybody's on, and I'm up to bat, you know, and I'm a point out. That big F-150 can do it, and we're going to go for it today.
It's come down to this one race, and it's winner take all. We don't have to take anything home. Doesn't matter what the vehicles come back like. Doesn't matter, you know, what goes on. We're going to run up front, run as hard as we can, and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, I'm hoping that the 3 guys that are ahead of me in the points, I'm going to walk away with them, and they're going to have a battle between the 3 of them, take each other out, and I'll just skate through to the winning circle.
Class 8, Marty, 2-wheel drive, production pickups. Engine makes about 850 horsepower. Minimum weight of 3,700 pounds.
And let's take a look now at the Chevrolet starting field. There he is, Walker Evans at age 55 from Riverside, California. Never won a championship in SO.D.A. He may do it today. Scott Taylor, the defending champion here in Class 8. He is 1 point behind, as is Scott Douglas. And remember, he is driving with a broken leg. That's how much he wants it. Dave Hockers, he has got a mathematical shot, but like we said, everybody else has got to break. Jamie Flannery could play the role of spoiler in that Chevrolet. Also, his brother Jed, same deal here. Jed had a real tough spring race, did a rollover, managed to keep the truck rolling, though, and did a fine job in that effort. Now, here's the rest of the starting field as we're ready. And look at those 3 trucks on the far right side. Everybody has a different strategy as the green flag flies, and we're ready for the Class 8 showdown.
Marty, the 3 trucks on the right, those guys have obviously seen something they like. They see that there's a harder ground or less bumps over there.
Well, we go into turn 1 flat foot, and it looks like Walker Evans may have the lead. And blow contact in the back of the pack. There's a spin. It looks like John Conitzer. Oh, and Brian Donlevy comes across, and that is Gary Garton, who rolls over and comes to a rest on his side. Hopefully everybody is okay. We'll get back to that in a second. Take a look now. It's Walker Evans in front. Second place is Jamie Flannery. Third place is Scott Douglas. Scott Taylor is 4th. And there is Dave Hockers in 5th. Let's go back and take another look at this, Ivan.
I was trying to look at this, Marty. I think they just got together up there in the dust. Yeah, a little bit of contact. He gets sideways, comes right across the field, or just where you don't want to do it at those high speeds, and wham, he gets hit by...
Boy, Jimmy Crowder just barely made it through. Garton, the one who rolls.
It's Garton, that's right, who actually hit him, yes.
And everybody is okay. So that's the best news that we can pass along. There is race leader Walker Evans. Second place, Jamie Flannery. We talked about he might play the role of spoiler. Remember, this is his home track. And there's third place, Scott Douglas. Where is Scott Taylor? There he is. Woof, he's going to get on the horse quick.
He is going to have to if he's going to do anything in this race, Marty.
On board with Scott Taylor. Let's listen. Let's see if we can pick up something. Like he's having trouble getting the power down.
A little bit lazy there on the throttle. He might be having a problem.
So right now, Walker Evans, who came into this race with a 1 point lead and the only championship that he has never won in his career. He has won in the Stadium Series. He has won in the Desert. 18 titles in all.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it takes determination to win championships, he's got it for this. He is really up for this championships. He wants it the worst way, Marty.
He has been focused all weekend. Jamie Flannery, I'll tell you what, remember our last race at Lake Odessa? He and Walker got into it side by side, and Walker got a little bit of the best of him, but he learned a lot, and it's paying off here. On on board now with third place, Scott Douglas. Douglas got to find a way to get around the 21-year-old youngster.
This is the motor rev up. This is down through the valley here. The truck gets light, the engine goes up in RPM.
Now we're looking back in fifth place. That's Dave Hockers and Jed Flannery. Flannery closing down and has Hockers under attack. And Hockers, as we said, the only way he can win the championship is if the first three break. And the odds against that are slim and, I hate to say it, none.
I'd say awfully slim at this point, Marty.
There is race leader Walker Evans, and he has got a very comfortable lead over second and third. Could he be pushing it too hard too soon?
Well, you know, sometimes I've seen Walker do this in the past, and he'll push it and push it and push it, even though he's got a big lead. And I'm not sure that's always wise, but I've always felt I'd like to do the same thing. I want these guys to know I can beat them. I got them right where I want them.
Well, will Walker Evans run everybody into the ground? We'll find out at the Chevrolet World Championships right after this. Chevrolet World Championships, Marty Reed along with Ivan Stewart. Rick Johnson is in pit lane, and there is your race leader. We're going to get an interval, see how big the lead is. Walker Evans in front of second place, Jamie Flannery. Oh, my goodness. This is a country mile.
And he'll do this every time. They'll have a big lead like this, and you watch, he'll just keep standing on the gas pedal.
That's 15 seconds. Then here's third place, Scott Douglas at 18 seconds, and Scott Taylor at 20 seconds plus. Now, going right back to what we were talking about as we're on board with Scott Taylor. He's closing down on third place. Is Walker Evans gambling now? Should he sort of back out and let it breathe a little?
Well, Walker and I have talked about this a lot in the past, and what happens, and I have done the same thing, a lot of drivers, you break that rhythm. You don't want to break that rhythm, get down and running too slow. You end up catching a rock or something or catching a berm. Keep that rhythm going.
Well, that is John Conitzer in front of Scott Taylor, and he's having trouble getting around him, and that's allowed Scott Douglas, there he is, Douglas off in the distance, to open up the margin between third and fourth. Now, this is the battle for fifth place. That is Jed Flannery. He has gotten around Dave Hockers, so Hockers has fallen back a position to sixth. Jed Flannery in front. That's a Chevy-Ford battle. Chevy in front of Ford at this point. Those guys going after each other. Hockers, again, an independent. Look, he's going to try and dive on the inside.
You can try and outbrake him.
He does not have. Look at it. He's got that left front locked up. It's flying off the ground. Nice pass by Dave Hockers.
That was a great move. The truck wallowed off to one side. He didn't get all the brakes on the ground. Then all the tires were off the ground.
Neither one of these guys have factory backing. They do as best they can and do a marvelous job with a limited budget. I mean, if you knew how little they had to spend compared to the Walker Evans and the Jack Flannerys of the world, you'd be patting him on the back for the fact that he is fourth place in the points and coming into the final race of the season still had a shot at the championship.
You're right, Marty. That's really saying something. As you mentioned, there's a big, big difference in money here, I guarantee, between this truck and those two guys.
You saw the white flag. It's out for Walker Evans. Walker, and we're back on board now as Scott Taylor has closed the gap on Scott Douglas.
You know, Scott may be fighting, you know, when we talked about his blue.
Oh, no! Taylor loops it. He takes it all the way around in the gravel pit. So any chance that Scott Taylor had of gaining third place has just gone around in a 360-degree spin, and we will have another new champion crowned this year as Scott Taylor will not repeat here in Class 8. In fact, there is the man that is going to take it away unless he breaks. He's on the final lap. Last time down that long straightaway heading for turn number 1, Walker Evans, 55 years old. Here's a question for you. Now that he's won this championship, or is about to, as he's approaching Chuck Brand, chucked a lap vehicle, do you think he might consider retirement?
No, Marty, I seriously don't think so. I think he just loves this out here. He just goes fast. He wins races. You know, he's competitive as heck. There's no way that he's going to quit doing this that I can see.
Well, I just had to ask you because I know he's already planning for next year. He's talking to sponsors, but you never know. You know, you might change your mind after you've won everything that you possibly planned. Here he comes up over the last jump. Walker Evans at age 55 puts another championship in his crown as he crosses the finish line here at the 25th anniversary of the Chevrolet World Championships to take the Class A championship here and the True Value Pro Series title as well. So Walker Evans, the 19th major championship title in his trophy case. And when we come back, we'll talk to the legend himself. Stay with us. The final results here at the Chevrolet World Championships. Walker Evans, Jamie Flannery in second, Scott Douglas in third, Scott Taylor fourth, and Dave Hockers rounds out the top 5. There's 6th through 9th place, and Ivan Stewart's made his way to victory lane to talk to our winner.
1994 True Value Class 8 points champion Walker Evans. Congratulations. Let me first want to congratulate you. It was a tough year, though, believe it.
It certainly has been. I'll tell you, the point battle has gone back and forth, and I came into the last race with only 1 point ahead, and 2 guys tied. Any one of the other 2 could have won this race and been right here. But I'll tell you, I came out on top, and I'm very happy to be here, believe me.
Walker, we're going to see you next year.
Well, certainly you're going to see me next year. We got to get the 19th championship around here. This marks my 19th. We got to go for the 20th one.
Well, you can see the champagne celebrations all over the background area there. Walker Evans with 94 points over Scott Douglas in second. Scott Taylor will finish third, just 2 points behind Douglas. Dave Hockers in fourth and John Conitzer fifth. There is 6 through 10 in the final standings in Class 8 in the True Value Pro Series for 1994. Class 7S is now getting ready for the starting line. Remember, John Greaves comes into this race in control of his own destiny. The man who is in second place is Art Schmidt. He is 14 points behind. He's the only one with a mathematical chance at getting past John Greaves. Let's go talk to Art Schmidt about his strategy.
John right now is running real well. Truck's working good. I don't know. We're going to try to pull him to the first turn. Our truck's running well also. I think if we can pull him to the first turn, we'll be able to stay out there.
Marty, let's look at Class 7S. Two-wheel drive, production mid or mini-size pickups. Engine 4-cylinder, maximum 2.5 liters. And these trucks make about 200 horsepower, about 100 miles an hour.
John Greaves heads the Chevrolet starting field. He's from De Pere, Wisconsin, at the age of 28 on the verge of a championship. Art Schmidt, all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at age 39. He'll be in the Nissan. Jeff Kincaid, the number 707 Kincaid, right here in his hometown of Crandon, Wisconsin. He's 29. Al Walentowski from Pickerel, Wisconsin. He's 27. And Jimmy Crowder, the number 747, all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. And Brendan Gaughan, one of the youngsters, 19 years old. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. And the rest of the starting field, defending champion Scott Taylor has had a dismal season in Class 7S, hoping to make a rebound here and maybe get a little momentum started for 1995. A huge field in Class 7S as we are just about ready for the drop of the green flag here in Crandon.
They're off, Marty. So important to get to this first corner first.
The drag race. Now remember, in the spring race, John Greaves was the winner here. So it's everybody trying to chase that man. There he goes, right around. Art Schmidt's strategy of pulling him into turn one didn't work.
He tried, he just couldn't do it. Ooh, and Johnny gets it up on 2 wheels.
Boy, I'll tell you, what a nice job of saving it on the bicycle. John Greaves in first place, Art Schmidt second. It looks like Bill Waterstrat in third right now. Jeff Kincaid in fourth. As they head down towards the gravel pit for the first time, Schmidt has to pull out all the stops. He cannot wait.
One of the unique things about John Greaves' truck, we want to remember that he uses a 5-speed transmission, and that might be one of the reasons he always gets such good starts.
Right now, he's got that 5-speed Toyota hooked up and flying as he is. Boy, they got quite a bit of water down on this track for maintenance, and I'm sure it may have a bit of bearing on the race here in the early go. I don't think maybe the guys were quite ready for that much.
Well, what it's going to do more than anything is the visibility for the other drivers. Plus, remember the fact that this mud also goes in the radiator. Big problems for some guys.
Well, it doesn't go in the radiator if you're out front. Whoa, the door swinging open on Jeff Kincaid's truck. He's trying to close in on Bill Waterstrat.
That really shouldn't hurt anything. As long as the safety guys don't think it's going to be a problem, there shouldn't be a problem at all.
Here they come down into the valley, and remember, this is a very steep drop-off. And then you got to have the horsepower, and it really works, these little 4-cylinder motors having to come back up that hill. So far, so good. A couple of course workers moving back. Depth perception is deceiving there. The racers are well off into the distance. But they're getting around Waterstrat for third place, Jeff Kincaid. So Kincaid, the only man other than John Greaves to win a race this year. Kincaid won at Anago, and from that point on, it has been all John Greaves. And look at this lead. He has stretched it out to about, 12 truck lengths over second place, Art Schmidt. And boy, Waterstrat trying to come back one more time on Kincaid.
I'll tell you, Jeff Kincaid had a different line coming down. If anybody can catch John and we'll go for it 100%, it'll be Jeff Kincaid. We'll see what happens here. I know that he's really hungry.
Well, he is all over the back bumper of Art Schmidt. And on the outside, can he make this pass stick? It's awfully wet down at that end of the gravel pit. I don't think so. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring the conclusion of the 7S Championship here at the Chevrolet World Championships. Marty Reed, Ivan Stewart, and Rick Johnson back with you at the Chevrolet World Championships. And this is the battle for second, third, and fourth. That is Art Schmidt, Jeff Kincaid, and on the left side, that is Scott Taylor. During the commercial break, he has moved up into contention for this position. In fact, he is around Kincaid.
He is running hard. He has really got something to prove.
He has had a dismal season. After last year dominating this class in 7S, he just has struggled one race after another, and this would be a great way to cap it off if he could do well here heading into 1995. Right now he's in third, right behind the Nissan of Art Schmidt.
It's a good passing place coming up. Coming into the gravel pit, see if he can outbrake Art. Nope, he's way too far back.
Schmidt on the horsepower down into the gravel pit, and that's exactly what it was. At one time, it was a gravel pit, and the hood's starting to come up on the Toyota of John Greaves. Now, this is the battle for sixth. That's Al Walentowski, Bill Waterstrat, and Joe Dunlap. There's Waterstrat in the 716, and there's Walentowski in front of him there, and Dunlap brings up the third member of that group. They're all battling for sixth as they come over the final big jump, which leads to the last turn right before the finish line. Ducking down on the inside, taking a look. No way. Waterstrat's not going to be able to make that hold up. Walentowski holds on to the position. He's in sixth. Waterstrat is seventh. Back to the battle for second place, as that is a lap vehicle in front of Art Schmidt and Scott Taylor closing. Jeff Kincaid right behind. A second, third, and fourth. Back on board now with Art Schmidt as he is still trying to get around the lap traffic there and into that final turn.
That's a great shot here, Marty. Watch the throttle foot. He's obviously going through some moguls here, because you can watch the pump of the throttle. As the tire hits the ground, he gives the throttle. As it comes up in the air, he gets out of the throttle. Great shot.
That is Art Schmidt, second place. Third place, right behind him, Scott Taylor, and then Jeff Kincaid is in fourth. And these guys are still hoping that something happens to John Greaves' truck, because if it doesn't, they don't have much chance of anything, because he is so far out in front.
I tell you, Art Schmidt,
Schmidt has lost the left front tire. So any chance of the championship going to Art Schmidt is being plowed into the dust.
It looks like the whole spin will come off. Not just the tire and the wheel, but the whole spin will come loose, Marty.
So now that man, John Greaves, who has radio communication with his pit, will be told, hey, the championship is yours. You can put it on cruise.
Which I doubt that he'll do, knowing John Greaves.
Well, that is Al Walentowski on the left side of your screen. He has moved around Tom Hockers for fourth place. So those two are still doing battle. Oh, no, wait a minute. Scott Taylor. Oh, and boy, we talked about his problems this year.
It just keeps plaguing him, Marty. He must be, he's not living right or something.
So Taylor ends the season on a down note in Class 7S, but this guy can identify with that feeling. That was his story last year.
That's exactly right. He went through exactly the same thing last year. So many times we see him leading races, and just go by the wayside.
So John Greaves on his way to his fifth win in 6 races. You want to talk about domination? It has been with a capital D, and it's got John Greaves' name tacked all over it. Last turn, as he comes around, he'll look at the checkered flag, and there is your new champion for the True Value Pro Point Series and the Chevrolet World Championships. Class 7S, John Greaves from De Pere, Wisconsin, and you better believe he is one happy driver. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our new king of Class 7S. World Championships, we could etch his name in granite, at least for 1994. 5 out of 6 times, John Greaves has taken his Toyota to victory lane. As you see, there's the rest of the top 10. Let's go down to victory lane. Ivan Stewart's with our champion.
Well, John, you told me at the beginning of the year that you were going to be the champion, the Class 7 champion, and you did it. True Value Points champion, Class 7. How does it feel?
Oh, it's great. You know, coming up to this day, every day I woke up with a little sweat, you know, just wondering how is this day going to work out. And now that it's over, I couldn't be happier. And the pressure's off, and we're going to have some fun tonight. 5
wins this year. You know, last year, as we talked about, that dark cloud just kept plaguing you. You led a lot of races. You just couldn't get the finish line. A lot of hard work, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. You know, last year taught me a lesson, and I didn't let myself out of the garage all winter, and now it's paying off, and I'm going to do it again this year.
That's a frightening thought for everybody else in Class 7S. Here's the final standings in the True Value Pro Series. John Greaves with 100 points, wins by 25 over Jeff Kincaid. Jimmy Crowder moves up to 3rd, and Art Schmidt drops to 4th. There is 6 through 10. And guys, get back in your garages because you're going to have to do a lot of work. As Johnny Greaves says, he's going to go loaded for bear one more time. Take a look at this capacity crowd as we're getting ready for the last race of the day. You know, we talk about the punishment that these trucks take. Well, Ivan's going to take us behind the scenes and show us some of the drivetrain components. Ivan?
You always hear me talk about what it takes to win these races out here in Class 8 and Class 4 especially. I want to show you some of the drivetrain components these guys are using. They all use an automatic transmission. This one's a Hydromatic 3-speed used out of Jack Flannery's Class 4 truck. This is the rear end housing. They use a spool in the rear end. This is the spool right here. This is what connects the 2 rear tires together. This is the piece that makes it so hard for these guys to turn in the mud. Both tires drive together, called a spool. This is a stock axle, about a 31 spline axle out of a truck. This is a 45 spline axle out of Scott Douglas's truck. This is the kind of axle, this is the kind of technology it's going to take to win races out here with these guys.
Well, let's get ready now for the Manufacturer's Challenge. These are production pickups. You've already seen them. They must run in their class race. They're 2- and 4-wheel drives. They must conform to the class rules. In the Chevrolet starting field, brand new Class 4 champion, Greg Gerlach. He'll be in the 402 from Dakota, Minnesota. Walker Evans, our Class 8 king. For 1994, he'll be in the Dodge. Jeff Dorr also in the starting field. He'll be in one of the Fords. He's from Rockford, Illinois. Scott Taylor from Belvedere, Illinois, another one of the Ford contingent. And then leading Chevy Thunder, well, it'll be Jack Flannery looking for revenge here in the Manufacturer's Challenge in his hometown of Crandon. Son Jamie will give him double-barreled action. He'll be in the number 815. Jack Heitman, 43 years old from Marquette, Michigan. He'll be in another one of the Fords. And here's the rest of the starting field, and this is going to be a huge, huge turn 1. 26 trucks in all diving for that first corner.
Hey, Marty, you know what's going to be interesting? These guys have either won their class championship or they lost it. They no longer have to save their trucks. They can just go out and race and have a good time.
Have a good time. I like the way you say that. This could be a holy terror going into turn 1 as the green flag flies and we are on board with Walker Evans. Look at the acceleration.
You talking about horsepower and throwing dirt.
Boy, he is on the inside there, and Kevin Probst out in front of Walker, and Steve Kelly looks like he's on 3rd, and then is that Jack Flannery on the outside? Look out, don't get into that. Wow, that was awfully close to that fencing.
That was awful wide. If they're closer to that fence than I'd want to get, I'll tell you.
Look at that. Everybody made it through turn 1. On board with Scott Douglas. Getting into Gerald Foster, and Foster goes over. So Gerald Foster takes some contact as Scott Douglas not able to get on the binders in time and gets into him.
I think it was an easy rollover, though. I don't think it was a major, shouldn't be a big major problem for Gerald.
Hopefully the crews will get him back out and he'll be able to continue. Right now, as that was going on, Walker Evans did get around. Kevin Probst has taken the early lead here.
Oh, this is good. 2-wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive.
Look at the view as you have got Kevin Probst all over your back bumper. And what Kevin Probst is seeing is a lot of dirt being thrown up by Walker Evans.
It might be a little smart for him to stay off, be a little patient. Now it pays to be patient sometimes. Get off the side, let him go. Just hang with him.
Yeah, right. I've seen you drive some of these stadium races, Ivan. You don't wait. You stick your nose right down in there.
Well, I didn't say I was the smartest off-road race car driver.
Down the straightaway one more time. Walker Evans got the hand. Oh, look at that. When those trucks carry all 4 wheels, that is so pretty.
It is beautiful. I just love to watch them.
This is what truly a lot of fun for us because, like you said, Ivan, the championships are decided. This one's for bragging rights. You don't have to save anything. This is the last race of the season for us. Everybody can let it hang out. Whoa, Steve Kelly, he's going to end it on a sour note as he has lost fire in his Dodge and parked it.
Walker Evans has got a right front flat tire, Marty.
Yep, you can see it shaking. Good eyes, Ivan. And that's why he is now no longer in the lead. So, boy, can you imagine if that would have happened in the Class 8 race?
Boy, it's a good thing.
More smoke coming from Jack Flannery's motor. Remember, he had problems in the Class 4 championship. Right now, Flannery has gotten past Walker Evans. Walker barely going to make it around. He's got a long way to go to pit lane.
He's going to be down the wheel by the time he gets there. A lot of people don't realize that there's big rocks out here. I mean, there's some nasty ones.
Nasty enough that if you ever get hit by one of them, it could just literally knock you cold. I mean, there are some huge ones. And boy, boy, Walker's got a handful because he's still a good, probably another 3/4 of a mile until he gets back to pit lane.
He is. It's going to be a long drive for him. Long day right now.
So he's nursing his way around the racetrack. Jack Flannery there going by. Let's see who else has gotten by. That's Kurt LeDoux in 3rd. Then 4th looks like Jeff Dorr. And 5th looks like it's Scott Taylor. As Scott is right behind Jeff Dorr. Boy, this is a great shot as those three are diving for that last corner.
Hear the engine RPM come up, Marty. As they just crest the top of that hill, the truck leaves the gravel, but it's not enough to come off the throttle. Hear the engine come up and then go back down again as it gets a good bite with those tires.
Kevin Probst out in front. Got a good-sized lead over 2nd place Jack Flannery. Then here is 3rd place. Dorr has gotten around LeDoux and Taylor. So there is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss a thing, we promise. It's the Chevrolet World Championships, the final race of the year. Marty Reed, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson back with you, and we've got a new leader. Jack Flannery has taken over. I know we promised you wouldn't miss anything. Well, you haven't. That's what happened. Kevin Probst just slowed down and has pulled over and is out of this race. So another sad ending for his season. Everybody wants to do well in that last race because it does. It carries over momentum.
It really does. And he's had so much trouble. He just, they get the car working good, and he has a little problem. Keeps putting him out.
Jeff Dorr is now 2nd. Kurt LeDoux is 3rd. Scott Taylor 4th. And you just saw Scott Douglas flying by. And
smoking, by the way. Did you notice?
No, I didn't. Good eyes. This is on board with Scott Taylor. Whoa, coming across the bow. That's Kurt LeDoux.
See, these guys have all got different lines. This is down the long straightaway runoff area here. And the guys have all got different areas they like to be in.
So Taylor looks like he has gotten around LeDoux for 3rd place. And yes, he has. So you get the view from outside, and you can see exactly what Scott Taylor knows already transpired. He is in 3rd. Kurt LeDoux is in 4th. And then Scott Douglas is in 5th.
Interesting note, Marty, that the Class 8 or the 2-wheel drive trucks are obviously going to be a little bit lighter. And the Class 4's got to carry a transfer case. They're going to be heavy. Uh-oh, we got big problems here.
I can see the smoke now.
We got major problems.
I'm afraid Scott Douglas. Oh, and Greg Gerlach has got, what, that looks like a brake that is locked up.
It really does.
And literally is just melting. Now this is the battle for 6th. That's Jimmy Crowder and Jamie Flannery. So those two going after each other. And obviously a little contact somewhere for Jamie. He's lost a quarter panel.
The point I was going to make earlier, Marty, was the fact that the 8s are lighter. And they're a little more agile, where they got 4-wheel drive pulling you, but they're heavier. So 2 different battles going here.
Sometimes it's an advantage to have the 4-wheel drive, sometimes 2. And right now, there is Jack Flannery as we're back up front. He's in 1st place now as he has taken over, as Kevin Probst has gone out with another problem. And on board again with Scott Taylor. Taylor currently in 3rd, trying to close down on Jeff Dorr. And there is Dorr in his gun sights. And he's going to try that inside line.
Heading down the gravel. Whoops. Jeff gets very wide, and it's going to cost him.
Dorr looks like he's lost front-wheel drive.
You think so? I didn't see that.
Oh, no, look out, Flannery! Oh, my goodness!
Ooh, man.
Flannery!
Hit that pole hard.
The white flag would have been coming out on this lap. You see what Jack Flannery sees. Let's go through this again. What happened?
Well, it looks like the throttle stuck or something. It's hard to say, Marty. I can't tell if he just got out of control, the throttle stuck, or what. He got up on 2 wheels. That's the problem. He tries to correct it. Didn't come out of the throttle. Corrects it, saves the rollover, but hits the pole.
Oh, my. And that is a brand new finish line that they just put up this year. I think they're going to have to replace it, but it did its job. It gave way.
Boy, I hope he's all right, I'll tell you.
Let's take another look on board with Jack Flannery. Hold on.
I don't think the throttle's taken. No, here's the throttle up on 2 wheels. It's...
And then you roll over, and you get a mouthful of dirt, and luckily you get out, and you're okay.
He's moving around.
That's the best news. Yes, there he is. So, gosh, this is probably the worst year Jack Flannery's ever had at Crandon. Look at him shaking his head. He's just wondering, my goodness.
Hometown race, and he smacks the pole right from the start finish line.
While things end on a down note for Jack Flannery, they're going to end on an uptick for Scott Taylor, as he has got 1 turn to negotiate, and he will squarely look at the checkered flag. And I guarantee you he isn't going to go around that corner too fast, as he sees the end result of Jack Flannery's accident, and he wins the Manufacturer's Challenge here at Crandon, Wisconsin at the Chevrolet World Championship. Stay with us. We'll talk through our winner and close out the '94 season after this. Today's ESPN Speed World event has been brought to you by True Value Hardware. See your True Value Hardware store. Help is just around the corner. And by Toshiba FST Perfect, as good as television gets. Well, there you see the end result of the collision between Jack Flannery and the finish line pole. The upright is bent, and so is the finish line banner across the top. That is the damage on Jack's truck, as it also rolled over, and they're inspecting that. Here are the final results in the Manufacturers Challenge. Scott Taylor, Kurt LeDoux in second. He got around Jeff Dorr, who was having problems there at the end. Jamie Flannery in fourth, and there is the rundown through the top 10. Let's check in with a very happy Scott Taylor.
Well, you know what? I could feel the truck after a lap working 3 times better than yesterday, and I was catching traffic and passing traffic, and the truck was working good, and I wasn't feeling any problems, any glitches, and I just kept it as fast as I could run it. And I started picking cars off, and I noticed my radio guys radioed to me, I'm moving up. They said I was in third. I passed Dorr, I was in second, and then Flannery was in front of me, and then all of a sudden Flannery wasn't there. It was kind of a gimme from him, but the toughest survive. The best wins.
Well, congratulations to all our winners today. Scott Taylor in the Manufacturers Challenge, our champions, Greg Gerlach, John Greaves, and Walker Evans, as we get ready to close out the 1994 season. Accommodations for the ESPN crew provided by Cheney's Country Club and Motel in Leona, Wisconsin. Mobile facilities for the ESPN crew provided by Van Boxtel RV. They're located in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So, Ivan, it brings us to a close of another off-road season.
Well, I tell you what, Marty, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate you using me. I love doing this and can't wait till next year.
Well, thank you, and thanks to Rick Johnson as well down pitside. Thank you to everyone at S.O.D.A, the promoters, the racers. We've had a great time. For all of us here at ESPN, we hope you've enjoyed it as well. We've enjoyed bringing it to you, and we look forward to bringing it to you again next year right here on ESPN Speed World. This is Marty Reed. So long, everybody.